Hi folks, good afternoon. Welcome to the Rangers Review. Team news reaction, me and Stevie Clifford at Hampden ahead of Rangers versus Aberdeen in the Viaplay Cup Final. We're going to react to the teams, the big talking points, and look ahead to what is a big game, Stevie, as big as they come, a Cup Final. First and foremost, before we kind of get into the team, it's been a good week for Rangers. It could be a very good weekend for Rangers with what happened in the league yesterday. They need to go and do their job today, but after Thursday night, that win in Betis, how are you feeling about their prospects today at the National Stadium?
Yeah, just what I've always said, and just what the manager says. We take a game at a time, and it sounds boring. It really does. But regardless of what's happened last Sunday or what's happened yesterday, we can only affect what's in front of us. So concentrate on ourselves. Don't get carried away, and just do what's in front of us. And what's in front of us is arguably the biggest game of the season so far. This club's all about winning silverware, so this is our first opportunity to do it. It's a big one, so let's go and do it. And it's going to be a difficult game. They're a good side. There's no point in denying that, and they know how to play against us, so that makes it difficult. But this team have got to step up, and they did on Thursday night fantastically well, and they have done under Clement so far, because it's been an incredible turn of form. So let's get this one today in the bag, and we can have a wee bit of not galvanise them, Joshua. I don't think that's the right word, because I think they don't need that. But
it'd be a trophy, which would be significant.
Silverware can do things to teams, so let's hope they can get this one in the bag and then see where it takes us.
Let's see what happens. Absolutely right. Let's see the Rangers team. Stevie will do that. We'll read out the Aberdeen team, break down some of the key talking points. No real surprises. Myself and Johnny both went for this team yesterday, I think because there's not many other options. There was maybe a bit of contention as to would there be changes at the back. Valgun comes back in. He's partnered Connor Goldson most consistently under Philippe Clement and has the best record, that centre-back partnership under Philippe Clement. Todd Cantwell, good to see him back in that number 10 position. I think it'll be really important for Rangers to have him in there, not least because they're playing Dujon Sterling in midfield, and he's done well as of late, but it's a different game. Sure. He's going to have more of the ball. It'll be interesting to see how Rangers react to that, and you want to get Cantwell on the ball as much as possible because you do need someone who can pass through the middle of the pitch. Ross McCausland keeps his place as well, as does Cyril Dessers after his goal in midweek away in Seville. Abdallah Sima is Rangers' man in form. And before we go through that, I'll read the Aberdeen team. Looks like, Stevie, they will go with two strikers up front. They go through Stevlin, Shinnie Jensen, Gartenman, McGrath, Miovski, Clarkson, Hayes, Sockler, Rubezic. That's their 11. Some maybe indecision as to whether they'd go with one striker up front or two. Looks like they're going to go for it a little bit more. Maybe that will suit Rangers because it suggests that they're not going to sit in quite as much, and I think that's probably the game state the Rangers would struggle with the most, given the options they have, especially in the centre of midfield. I mean, just your kind of overall reactions to the team. No real surprises, but probably the 11 that most people would have picked going into this one.
Yeah, I would have went with this. Not if everybody's fit, may I add, but I think that the team kind of selects itself. Sterling's done a good job in midfield, so for him to start, I think it's a no-brainer. Dowell was the only really other one that maybe could have come in, and he's had no game time.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy to see Sterling. I thought Sterling was absolutely terrific on Thursday night, so we need more of that today. And Cantwell can drop in and make that more of a 3 at times as well. So I'm quite happy with that. Todd obviously knows how to play in the middle, and he can sit in probably and press a wee bit better, I think, possibly than Lammers might be able to do. Although Lammers kind of not on the ball, but as I said yesterday, his off the ball work was really good. So Cantwell needs to come in and kind of match that, and then hopefully he can be better on the ball, which will get Rangers joy. I like the fact that the young fella starts on the right. He's been very positive. He'll need to be more switched on and help Tavernier going backwards. I think that's fair. But all in all, I think that's a team that we really want to see. It's up to the big guys to perform today. James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, John Lundstrom. We need that leadership. The boys in front of them, Sima, Cantwell, McCausland, they're all young guys in terms of cup finals and things like that. So Dessers, up front's got a wee bit of experience, but we need that experience. And we need, Joshua, dare I say it, we need Cantwell to shine. We need Sima to shine in these big games. And we need them to kind of kick on. Aberdeen team selection is interesting. Miovski up front with Sockler is interesting because at Pittodrie, they went straight for us, and I think they'll try and do that today. They'll sit in and they'll play that one ball, and they'll hope that they two can link up. We need to be wary of that, so we can't be caught square, and we need to be switched on to that, because what you don't want to do in this game is have to chase it.
Yeah.
So ideally, they're going to come and they're going to sit in, and if we can break that first, then that forces them out.
First goal is really important.
First
isn't
goal
it,
is mightily important today, and we do not want to fall foul to the fact that we're having to chase. So I wouldn't make it insurmountable, but I would make it a lot more difficult. If we get our tails up and we get in front, then I would be happy because Aberdeen have then got to change and got to switch things around. So, as you said, probably for the first time in a really long time, the first goal is absolutely vital in this kind of game.
Leon Balogun and Connor Goldson, both of them didn't start well in the reverse game against Aberdeen. They lost that kind of physical duel, and when Rangers managed to, I think, match that, I don't think you want to play the game you want to. You've spoken about that recently. You want to imprint yourself in the game and play it as you want to. You want to be the team who dominates, but you have to match Aberdeen where they're strong as well. And as a front two, they've got good players. Miovski, definitely one of their better players, one of the best players outside of the Old Firm in the league, Scottish Premiership. Absolutely, really important that Rangers do win those. Whether it's a straight ball over the top, whether it goes straight from the keeper, because Rangers will want to be aggressive, and Aberdeen will gamble on being able to try and get opportunities out of that 2v2 at the back. But Leon Balogun, he's someone who's played well since he came back into the club generally, and certainly has played well since Philippe Clement. I know he's someone that you wrote a column about recently, saying that you've been really impressed with him, and he should allow you to be aggressive in the duels and try and match the threat that Aberdeen are going to pose. But there's no denying that if Rangers are to have a successful day, that centre-back partnership will have to start better than they did in the recent game against Aberdeen, because let's not forget, Rangers have played Aberdeen twice this season and they've not won either game.
Yeah, I think perversely that might help them because there isn't a surprise. I think the fact that we played at Pittodrie recently actually benefits Rangers because we now know what they're going to come and do. I think they'll do the exact same thing today. So we've got to match that from the start. It's really, really important that we don't fall into the same traps as we did Pittodrie. I thought, and you know that I'm not statistically like you guys are good at seeing these things, but I thought, and I've never really spoke about this or asked the question, I thought we were too high up at Pittodrie, and that allowed us to get picked off. It happened twice before they actually scored. And after that, we seemed to correct it, and the positioning was a whole lot better. And I think that it's key that we get that right in the first 10, 15 minutes. And then, try and build upon that. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a difficult start because nobody's going to want to give everything away. But as you said, it's really important that we go and kick on and put our game plan onto this and print ourselves onto this game. When we do that, you've seen the first kind of 15, 20 minutes of the Hearts semi-final. When we do that, I feel that we're strong. And, if we can do that today, I would back the team to do well.
The substitute bench reads McCrory, Ridvan, Suter, Lammers, Matondo, Dowell. Not seen him in a minute.
He's alive.
Yeah. Scott Wright, Kemar Roof, and Leon King. Slightly stronger there. You've got the option, for example, of starting Ross McCausland. I think you do start him because Rangers have looked better with him. I know he's had a couple of moments off the ball, but different type of game tonight. Maybe Aberdeen will try and target that, and he will need to be alert to that, especially after Thursday night. But you've got the option of, okay, say hypothetically Rangers were to go behind, McCausland was to tire about 70 minutes. It would have been somewhat of a risk to not have any width on the bench, which Rangers do, because I don't think Rabi Matondo's natural on the right, far more natural on the left. Same for Kemar Roof. Cyril Dessers will hope to replicate the first half performance he's had in the last two games where he scored in both of the first halves, and Clement's been happy with his performance overall. But then you've got the option of bringing Kemar Roof on, and we saw what he could do in small stages from the bench in midweek. Let's talk about Dujon Sterling. If you had told us a couple of months ago that Dujon Sterling will be playing centre midfield in a cup final, I think we'd have both been surprised, Stevie. But I think it's important to probably look as well at what his role will be today. He's not going to be receiving with his back to goal. I think not that Rangers are playing through the middle too much at the moment in that midfield spot. I think it will be about him being busy, getting high up the pitch. He's played higher up the pitch as a wing back or a winger at different points in his career, so he can carry the ball. Asked Clement about it yesterday, and he spoke about his versatility, his willingness to look outside of the box when his manager needed him to. I imagine as well you'll see him make a lot of runs beyond on the right-hand side and also provide a little bit of extra coverage in that wide triangle with Tavernier and McCausland. So there's probably some similarities to what he has done. It's not as if you're putting him into a number 6 slot and you're saying you dictate the play, you be the one who knits everything together. That's not his role today. But still, it's a big ask, isn't it? Because you're approaching a final with only one fit central midfielder. I know Dowell's on the bench, but he's not played a single minute under Philippe Clement. But as you say, Sterling did well midweek when he came off the bench away at Real Betis, and it's going to be a different game. It'll be interesting to see how Rangers react when they do have a little bit more possession today. Big 90 minutes for Dujon Sterling in the middle of the park.
Yeah, it is. But what he brings is, and what we've seen in the last couple of 45 minutes, is a really good attitude. He's very athletic. He can press. He can harry. He's got some pace about him, and he adds that kind of energy that potentially Lundstrom and Cifuentes don't. And I don't mean that negatively. I just mean that they're different type of players. They like to be on the ball, whereas he can be somebody that presses and try and enforce the game a wee bit, which I think he done on Thursday night very well. It means Isco was running that game on that side until he came on. Miranda was controlling his runs, but when he came on, he shut that down. And what he did, and look out for this today, and something we do very, very well, is that when they work that triangle on the right-hand side, they free Tavernier. So I can't really show people because I'm pointing at a screen, but what I mean is, like, them coming in, they both come in to let Tavernier go through the middle, just like he done against Hearts.
What you're saying is it's natural for Sterling to assume that position at the base of that triangle.
It is, but what it means is that Tavernier can almost play as an inverted fullback, meaning that he frees himself up in the middle and driving at the heart of the defence. Now, that happened at Hearts, albeit Sterling wasn't in that. But McCausland managed to do that, and that's what I'm looking for them to do more of.
Yeah, if you look at what type of player Cifuentes is, he was signed as a box-to-box kind of right side in number 8, not a kind of build-up player in the first third of the pitch. It's about, I think, if you look at him in his best position, it would probably be running inside the half space, playing crosses from there. He's very much signed to try and complete that midfield way back in the summer, and again, that's not worlds away from Dujon Sterling role as a right back or his role as a right wing back. So there is some crossover there. Be interesting to see how he does. Todd Cantwell coming back into the picture is really important for Rangers, I think, because you've not got many real natural ball players in there. Otherwise, you've not how many players apart from McCausland are going to get on the ball in front of the block and create something in that team. Probably not many. Now Rangers have looked direct to Sima. You've seen them quite a lot in recent weeks, and they got the goal at Hearts and the first goal at Betis off this same routine from a goal kick where the ball goes wide. McCausland plays that bounce pass into Tavernier. You see it was Cifuentes made the run twice, the decoy run to allow Tavernier to go through the pitch. Obviously, that worked perfectly for Sima's goal at Hearts. It was a little bit. It broke down for the goal, Sima's first goal against Betis, but it still originated from that move. That's how they got around the block. But it's going to be important for Todd Cantwell to have a big game today, to get on the ball, to try and create things. Everyone knows he looks better when I think he's in that number 10 spot and he's got a bit more freedom. I'm very glad that he's not playing on the right-hand side today. This is the game, Stevie. He's a real fan's favourite. This is the type of game, if you can do it in a cup final, where you really solidify that role with the support base, isn't it? Because it's a real opportunity today to go and put on a memorable performance on a memorable day, hopefully, for Rangers.
It's a big day for him. It's a really big day for him. He needs to perform. He needs to play well. And, Cantwell's an excellent player. He really is. But there's an argument in his viewpoint from people that he hasn't really showed up in these really, really big games. I think that's harsh, considering what he's had around him. But there would be no better place to start than today. I think that he can, as you said, it's about cementing not your legacy as such, but creating one, and that's what he can do, and that's what all of them can do. And we spoke about Cyril Dessers during the week about his attitude. He got dumped out the team for Danilo, didn't get on against Aberdeen, didn't get on against Limassol when we needed goals, and he could have really sulked, he could have sat in, and he could have been in a huff. He didn't. He's come back in, and a game like today is the type of performance and the type of game where if he scores, all of a sudden his career takes off. His goal record's decent, 8 goals, 4 assists. Yeah. He's doing all right. We know that performance-wise he's a bit clumsy. It can be better, but you score a goal, a cup winner, in a cup final like today, and I'll go back to my time. And
no one can take that away from you, can
you
they?
Look at somebody like Eric Bo Anderson from my time, who was a pretty average striker for Rangers, and he gets remembered for his 2 goals against Celtic because of the enormity of them goals. And then you look on the flip side of Peter Van Vossen at the same era, who was played for Holland, played for everything. And look what happened to him when he missed his big chance. Everybody remembers it for him. So these players today have got the chance to make themselves heroes, chance to have those big moments and really, really begin a legacy for Rangers, because it's all there for us, Joshua. We might not want to say it out loud, but I said it during the week. And I said a couple of weeks ago, we're not quite in a title race yet, but we're not out of it either. Well, what's happened in the last couple of weeks? That league's there. And the cup's here for us today. We've done fantastically well to win our group in Europe. Things are doing all right. So now it's about kicking on and about really going to create something positive. And this team can do it. So today we've got to make sure we do.
Just finally, as we come to a close, Abdallah Sima, he's the informed man, 5 goals in 4 games. I think we've written about it on the site last week. I think he's been helped by the fact that Ross McCausland is on the right-hand side because he's not having to stay as wide for Rangers. There's natural width on the other side that allows him to get close to Dessers, allows him to arrive into the space instead of being the one with his back to goal. I also think you can't really do without his work the other way, tracking back in a game like this where he's been superb for Rangers consistently as well. Cyril Dessers, as you say, his goal record actually isn't bad at all. I think it's 8 goals and 4 assists he's got in his time at Rangers, which for a player who's not won over the fans yet, I think it's a decent enough return. Abdallah Sima, though, probably, if you're looking at that team and you're looking at a goal threat, he's your most dangerous man. And if there is space, Rangers are going to try and find him. It's important that he gets close to Cyril Dessers and tries to replicate the form that's, ever since that St Mirren game, seen him score 5 goals in his last 4 games.
Yeah, it is, and it was you that commented during the week on our pod together that position is tailor-made for him. The way he comes in and cuts on for his right-hand side. We've seen him now twice in the last couple of weeks, against St Mirren at home and then against Betis, coming in and that strike on the right-hand side being available, which is difficult to track because does your full-back go with him? Does your centre-back pick him up? And obviously teams have struggled with that. So we look to try and maximise that again today. He's a big threat. He's a big player for us. We need them to perform. We need them all to perform. But these are the games, as I said, it's all right. We're a very vocal and harsh fan base. We know that. And in the way that it's all right to be doing it, Thursday night, last weekend. You're only as good as your last match for Rangers, and you're only going to be as good as they do today. It's going fine, well, but we all know that if they don't get this result today, we're right back in. But if you get this,
pressure on it,
of course it is. Yeah. But that's all about, that's what it's like, life at Rangers. You go and win this today, and you're really kicking on. And I've said this, and I've seen so many teams, during that 9-0 season and during Walter's second spell, Alex McLeish's spell, that when they get silverware, it changes everything.
Yeah.
It changes the outlook, it changes performances and everything. And, a result today, Rangers could really, really kick on. So let's go and do that. Let's go and get this result. It's up to the boys today. Seema, Cantwell, McCausland, Dessers, Lundstrom. It's up to these guys to step up. Let's go and do it. Let's get this in the bag. Let's enjoy our Sunday night. And then we can concentrate on the league and start getting torn into that because it's all there.
Yeah, and all you can ask for is opportunity, isn't it, Rangers?
Yeah, we've got that. We said it, didn't we? I mean,
And this Rangers team have not made a habit of taking advantage of opportunity. Big pressure on them today to go and deliver. If they do that, I think that'll be significant. And the context of the mood that Clermont inherited up until now, if they don't, you're right, the criticism wouldn't bear thinking about, and rightly so. So huge pressure on Rangers. You can keep up to date with the whole game if you're not watching it on all of our social channels. We'll have full coverage later on. We'll be live after the game as well, hopefully with a happy Stevie to reflect on the game.
I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie. Look, it's such a big game for us that it's one of those ones where we've really got all to lose. I think that's fair, and because things have been going so well, I think because of what we've had this last decade and stuff, I think everybody is expecting a sting in the tail, and I think that's what we need to watch. So this one's a wee bit of a nerve-wracking one. I believe in us. I believe in this team. I believe in the manager. I believe in what we're trying to do. But it's a really big one. If we turn up and if we perform, I back us to do it. But we need to go and do it. So enjoy the game, everybody. Yeah. Let's go and get this done, and we'll see you afterwards.
Let's see where it takes us. You've said the goodbye, so I don't need to. We'll speak to you after the game, folks. Thanks for joining us for this team news reaction. We'll speak to you after the game. Until then, enjoy it and bye for now.